this. Great. So I'll ask you a question, and then it's best if you respond with my name when you respond with the question at the top of your answer.
Okay.
So when I say, "What is your name?" you would say,
My name is Abby.
Great. Okay. What is your name?
My name is Abby.
Where are you from?
I'm from Flemington, New Jersey.
How did you get here?
To where I am in academia, in like, I guess, clarification question. Yeah. Okay. So.
How did you get here?
For a long time, I really wanted to be a teacher.
Can you stop swiveling? Thank you.
At first, I
Can you look towards me?
wanted to.
Let's start from the top.
Yes. How did I get here? I've wanted to be a teacher for a really long time.
Say, I got here.
I got here.
Or I arrived, or however you want to put it, but
Yeah.
let's start over.
Okay.
What is your name?
My name is Abby.
How did you get here?
I got here
Can you look at the camera?
on a long and winding
Start over.
road. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Abby. I got here on a long, winding road through academia. I wanted to be a teacher for a really long time. At first, I wanted to be a high school teacher and teach psychology and social studies in the high school. But there were a lot of restrictions on jobs and not a lot of job opportunities. So I went to grad school not to pay my student loans because that's a really difficult thing when you have no job. And I discovered research and I started adjuncting at a couple community colleges. And after discovering research and that it's impossible to teach 11 classes in a year and live off of $30,000 a year with no benefits, I decided to come back to school. In order to get here, I had to go back for additional master's degrees, given my field, so it took me a while, but I'm here now.
Where do you go to school?
I go to school at UC Santa Cruz.
When did you start working as a TA?
I started working as a TA at UC Santa Cruz.
Let's stop for a sec.
Yeah.
Just look towards me. Wait.
Yeah.
Just talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, you don't like hold eye contact the entire time you talk to humans in real life. So that it feels like very awkward to just be
Just
talking
talk to me.
at you.
Just talk at me, please.
Okay. So this is really hard for me to not do. This is like a really natural. What was the question?
When did you start working as a TA?
I started working as a TA when I was at NYU as a graduate student. And then when I came to UCSC, I had a fellowship my first quarter and I didn't teach. And since my second quarter in this program, I've been a TA.
Do you have more than one job?
Yes, I do.
What are your jobs?
At present, I'm an organizing co-chair for the UC Student Workers Union here on campus. Additionally, I'm a research mentor to undergrad students at San Jose City College through the Cultivamos Excelencia program.
How did you get involved working in organizing and education?
I got involved in organizing and education pretty early, specifically for education. I've been involved in education for a really long time. I've been teaching in some capacity since I was in middle school as a tutor and preschool teacher and an assistant at a religious school, so on. As far as organizing goes, the first time I heard about like union organizing is when I was at NYU. Previously, NYU had not allowed a grad student union, and while I wasn't very involved in the campaign at that point, I was involved in voting to unionize as a grad student while I was at NYU, and so I started pretty simply like pushing the vote to my peers and getting people to show up.
What is your current wage?
That's pretty hard to say. My current wage at the university is guaranteed at $20,500 a year. And depending on what side jobs I work in addition to my TA ships, and whatever summer funding I can drum up, probably about $30,000, maybe just under.
Are you paid enough for your job?
I am not paid enough for my job.
Can you expand on that, please?
Yes, I can. A living wage in Santa Cruz is a little over $28,000 a year, and we make $20,500 a year, so there's a really big gap
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
between what we make and what we need to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
didn't I meet you before?
I think so.
At
Maybe
First
the last
Fridays,
time you
right?
were-
Oh, maybe at First Friday.
I think so,
You
yeah.
go, Ola.
I do.
Yeah, it's fun times.
There's no more this quarter.
Yeah. It'll be 1 week one, though. That'll be nice.
Yes.
Starting off the quarter right.
So you were saying?
I was talking about money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a big discrepancy between what we're guaranteed to make and what we need to make a living wage in this city.
What is that discrepancy?
It's about $8,000 a year before taxes, which is a really big chunk of change that I have to make up. In addition to my TA ships each quarter and conducting my own research and taking graduate courses, I have to work additional jobs just to make ends meet.
Are you part of a traditional or non-traditional industry?
I don't know, probably traditional. Education feels pretty traditional, and there's like a long-standing history of academia and education.
But academia is changing rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's traditional, would you say your role is traditional?
I'm not really sure if my role is a traditional role. I don't know that I know the history of academia well enough to answer that question accurately. I'm not sure like the history of what kind of universities have teaching assistants and what kind of classes usually have teaching assistants and things like that. Or
Teaching assistants usually come out of research institutions. It's fairly uncommon that teaching colleges have them, but they do have them. But TAs at teaching colleges often are TAs for credit, which is what I was once, which is kind of bizarre, actually.
Yeah.
So they don't even get paid for their work. They just get the experience. They pay for the experience, quote unquote. So that's the short history. So do you see your role as being something that is traditional? I mean, let me put it this way. How much of the class do you actually instruct?
So I usually, in a quarter, it varies a little bit, but I usually have 2 sections a week where I teach. That could look different depending on the course. It could be just facilitating group work. It could be doing additional supplemental lectures. It could just be coaching students through work. So in that way, that work is traditional, certainly traditional in terms of grading and dealing with helping students through assignments and things like that.
Has your industry changed?
It sounds like the answer to that question is yes, that my industry has changed or is changing.
How has it changed?
I'm not really sure how my industry has changed over time. Certainly in my experience as a TA at a couple different institutions, my experience has been pretty similar across those institutions.
How would you describe yourself as a contemporary American worker? Let's get to the meat of it.
Yeah, so I don't
Take a second if you need.
answer it now, but take a second if you need.
I mean, you could have perused this list.
Yeah,
It's on there.
Yeah, it is definitely on there.
How do you yeah.
It sounds like a question that I need to think about, and I don't know that inherent in that question is a comparison to workers who aren't contemporary and being fairly new to the labor movement. I don't know that I have that comparison in mind.
Have you ever had another job before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is more about your context rather than...
Okay.
So if you have the benefit of some experience, I'm asking you to weigh that against what you're currently working as.
I don't think that helped clarify for me.
So you know what it's like to have a job.
Yeah.
You have 2 of them now.
Mm-hmm.
So the context in which you're working is what I'm interested to know about. So
So-
how would you describe yourself as a contemporary American worker?
All right, so as a contemporary American worker, I think I would fit that description because I work multiple jobs. We know that young people in America have to work